Hi, everybody. And today we're going to talk about some of the things that I'm asked most about. One of the things that I'm asked most about, and that is how long is the candle magic going to take to work? Whether I do it or you do it, that's the question on everybody's mind. Once I start doing this, how long is it going to take for me to see results? And the thing is, everybody wants an answer, and I get that. But there's just so many factors involved with how long it's going to take. One of the key factors is how far into the process are you and how easy of a task is this going to be? So let's say we've got, let's go with this one right here. This is a prayer candle. It may be backwards for you because of technology, but it's to bring back my lover. So this is probably the most common thing I get asked with love magic is bring back an ex. And the thing is, with attracting someone to you or bringing a lover back, for instance, it's going to depend on why you broke up in the first place, how important that issue is to the other person, how much that other person does or doesn't want to be with you. And all of those things are going to come into play with how long it takes to get this person back. What I will tell you is that usually the strength of one candle, which is 3 to 5 days of straight burning, is not going to be enough to overcome somebody's willpower if they're choosing not to be with you. Now, let's say that you broke up with someone, you realize it's a huge mistake, you broke their heart, they are waiting for you to call them because all they want is to come back to you, and you just want to pave the way to make sure that they're going to be receptive. Maybe you don't know if they're going to be receptive. And so if that's the case and they're excited to come back to you, it might be that one little candle just opens the door, the reintegration goes smoothly, they're accepting of it. You don't have to do a lot of backtracking, or the conversations to explain why you left don't go sideways, and you're good to go. But if it's a matter of, okay, you cheated on this person 4 or 5 times, they gave you plenty of chances, they don't want to be with you anymore, and you're trying to entice them to come back when they really don't want to be with you, maybe they're moved on and they're in a good relationship with somebody else, it's going to take more than just one candle to make that happen. So, really, the state of the situation that you're attempting to change has a lot to do with how fast something's going to happen. Another example, let's say that you're trying to draw money into your life with a candle. It's going to depend on how far down you are. You know, it might start off with you find change on the street. A lot of times I see people that won't even bend over to pick up a nickel because they're waiting for an unexpected $500 check to land in their mailbox. What I found is that the powers of that be often check to see how you're responding to the little things. If they leave a nickel or a quarter in your path, that's saying, we hear you, we're sending you money, pick it up. If you show appreciation for the smaller things, that often paves the way to the bigger things. So that's another thing. How much are you paying attention to the little signals you're getting and following what needs to happen? Really, when it all comes down to it, candle magic is like any other kind of energy that you can imagine. So let's pretend that the energy that's in this candle is, instead of coming from a candle, it's coming from a battery. And let's say that you're using that battery, let's say it's a 9-volt battery. If you're using that battery to power a walkie-talkie, it's what it's meant to have used on. It's a perfect wattage, perfect amount of voltage, is a perfect amount of power to power that item or that thing. So when you use that 9-volt battery, it's going to light it up just fine. And now you're cooking with gas. Everything's great. But if you're trying to use a 9-volt battery to turn on your refrigerator, that's not going to work. It's not enough power. It's going to take more and more and more power. So not everything gets accomplished with one candle. Sometimes it's the persistence of lighting one candle after another, after another, after another, and staying determined while you push energy toward this that really gets you to where you're going to be. And when that's going to happen is anybody's game. It might take a day, a week, a month, a year. You can't tell because there are so many extenuating factors involved. So a lot of people will contact me because I do magic for people for hire and say, I need you to burn a candle to get my wife back right now. Well, I can't promise that that's what's going to happen. I can promise that we can sweeten that relationship. We can open doors. We can make it easier for her to come back. We can incline her toward thinking favorably about you and remembering the good times. But how long is that going to take to get that person back? It's really individual to the situation. Another thing that's going to affect how long it takes for your candle magic to work is what I was talking about, picking up the change on the ground. What you do in your day-to-day life, in the mundane world, affects the magic that you're doing. As above, so below. So if you're sending magic up to accomplish a goal, you need to be doing things on earth here in the mundane world to make that magic happen. So if you're doing magic to get a job, make sure that you're filling out job applications. Make sure that you can test positive on a drug test if that needs to happen. Make sure that your resume is in order. You have to do things in addition to the magic. The magic speeds it, the magic opens doors, the magic makes it more powerful and more likely you're going to get what you want. But the magic shouldn't have to do all of the heavy lifting for what you need to do. Now, another thing I like to talk about with how long it's going to take to do something is I am a big fan of metaphors. And the one that I like best is that when you work magic, it's like pushing a big heavy crate across a wooden floor. So think about all that's involved with that. If you meet resistance on that floor, if the floor is, the boards are all crooked and there's splinters everywhere, then it's going to be harder to push that crate across to the other wall where you want to go. If the floor is really, really smooth, it's going to move really, really quickly and be easier to push. If you have somebody helping you push, it's going to be easier. If you have a very, very big crate, like we're talking about with the refrigerator, it's going to take longer and more power to push it than if you have a little crate. So you really have to evaluate the enormity of the circumstances you're trying to affect with the magic. You have to look at any resistance or obstacles you've got toward that magic happening, and that has some effect or some way to tell you how long it's going to take or if it is something that's even feasible. I believe that everything is possible with magic. It's just that some things are going to take a really long time because you have to have a lot of energy pushing toward them. You got to keep that energy going, and you've got to do the hard work down below as well. Now, one thing about keeping the energy going, you don't just light one candle and then you're done. If you're not getting results after one candle, you need to keep burning candles and keep putting energy, because as soon as you stop pushing that crate across the floor, everything's going to stop. And sure, you're further along than you were before, but the energy stops when that candle goes out, or at least starts. Might have some ripple effects, but it's going to start to wear off as soon as that candle's done. So you need to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing to get that crate to where you want to be. Another thing that's going to be a determinant, how big is that room? Are you pushing that crate across a 5-foot space or a 50-foot space? All of that is a metaphor for how big is your situation, how many obstacles are in the way, how badly do you want it, and how badly does anyone around you not want it? Because those are all circumstances that are going to affect how long it takes your candle magic to work. So that's today's class on candle magic and how long it can work. There are so many things we could talk about regarding that, but those are some of the top things that will really determine how long it's going to take for that magic to work. But I will tell you, I burn so many different candles for people all through the week, and it's very, very rare that somebody gets exactly what they want with just one candle burning. It usually takes a while to get enough energy into what they're doing. Now, we talked about more than one person pushing the crate at a time, helping. That's why you sometimes want to bring in a professional to be able to burn with you, or that's also why prayer circles work in the Christian world, is because getting more and more people on board with a common goal helps to push that crate faster. So if you can get help with your objective, always a good thing. So that's what we've got for today. I hope this helps you out a little bit with your own candle work, and wish you all the happiest magic there is.